Bob's Roundtable. Nico back again. Mike Story, your nice middle spot. You're there.
Hey, there you are.
Well, hi, do I know you?
No, but that's where you are. You're there.
I kind of like this middle spot.
You do?
Yeah, I get a shouting back and forth.
Yeah,
I sit here.
I yell. Yeah.
So
That's all I do.
what kind of meat are you? You salami? You pepperoni? You bologna?
You're talking like if I were a
You're
meat
the white
or
bread
what do I like?
sandwich right now. Like he's a piece of white bread, I'm a piece of white bread.
I'm like a Cajun turkey breast.
Because we're not eating cheese
little
sandwiches
spicy.
around
No.
here.
I like chicken. You know what the other name for chicken is?
Pollo.
Cock.
Name an animal that we eat but doesn't eat us.
Well, Grant, I tell you what, I like to eat cock.
Whoa, no, we can't say.
Yeah?
All right,
rooster.
This is the quarterback show. We're gonna do quarterback ADP. We're going through Fantasy Pros ECR here, kind of general landscape, what we want to do this year. Just talk about quarterbacks. I do have a stat of the day for you, though.
Ooh, stat of the day.
It's a good one. 27 quarterbacks have had 100-plus carries in the last 10 years. Here's their finishes. 11 of them have finished the top 3. That is 41%. 16 of them have finished top 6. That is 59%. That is 90% of that number. 3 of them have finished outside the top 12. That is 2014 Colin Kaepernick, 2018 Lamar Jackson, and 2020 Cam Newton, all at the end of their run, or in Lamar's case, the beginning of his run. And here is this year's projections for the guys over 100 carries this year. Lamar 152, Jalen Hurts 148, Jaden Daniels 122, Josh Allen 111, and Anthony Richardson 105. History tells you these guys are going to finish high. I know you're not really big into the rushing quarterbacks. I'm just giving you numbers. What do you think?
That's Anthony Richardson's only projected for 105 carries.
Injuries.
That seems,
It's
I guess,
probably what it
seems
is.
low.
He's only
Wow,
probably playing 11 games.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
So
I'm just telling you that. What does that tell you?
if you're playing the odds, it's a fairly large sample size. You're going to want to get one of those 5 guys in fantasy in order
the
to
upside is there.
possibly
right?
The cheat code, they call it.
But
right?
that's not factoring in guys that don't get 100 carries because they get hurt in their scramblers, which is a thing. And question of the day. Give us your favorite quarterbacks. What's your strategy this year? Are you waiting? Are you going early? Where are your tiers at? We're going to get through all of that. Kind of a very obscure question. I've been drinking. We're going to have some fun. I got my boys. Let's get into it. ECR, Fantasy Pros. Let's go through it here. Number 1, we got Josh Allen. I'm not going to go ADP. I'm just going to go their ranks. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. That's where they stop their tier. What do you think about that tier? Is there anyone that stands out, or are they all kind of equal?
I think Allen stands out personally. I think the carries, the stability and not getting injured. You know, what was it? I mentioned it earlier. I think it's 5 years without missing a game now. 4 or 5 years
with that play style.
I worry about that offense taking a step back. That's my big concern right there. You've got nobody that really. Gabe Davis is gone, right? Stephon Diggs, he was a bit of a problem at the end, but he's gone. So Josh Allen's going to have to do a lot on the ground, but can he keep it up? I mean, you're right. He hasn't missed a game his entire career.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Yeah. That is
How is that
weird,
possible?
Weird
dude?
one.
He's distributing punishment.
Yeah.
In cold weather.
So
I don't get it.
sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, you're good. I think Allen to me is a clear one. But they're all.
You
right
agree
there.
though with the clear one?
I mean, I don't know how you can discount the tush push. I think I would take Hurts over Allen.
And this is also
AJ Brown's
four
still
for
there.
passing touchdown, by the way. Yeah. 4 for passing. Tush push is there. Lamar is the dude when he's healthy, and then you got Patrick Mahomes, old steady.
Yeah, I don't know about Patrick Mahomes being in that tier though. I have a little bit of a concern with that Kansas City team feels like they know what they need to do to get into the playoffs.
They added receivers,
but you also have a big question mark with what's his name?
Rasheed Rice.
Rasheed Rice.
But you got Hollywood Brown. You drafted the really fast rookie. You got a lot. I'm just saying, much more than they had last year.
You got Kelsey's another year older. You got distraction right there.
You got Kadarius Toney.
Well, speaking of Kelsey being another year older, that takes away from the tush push in Philly. The other Kelsey that actually retired already,
and they have Irv Smith.
I don't know they're going to be. I don't know they're going to be as effective with that tush push.
Was it? I mean, was it?
We all agree that this is the top 4, though. Like in any order,
I'll make that to tier.
No, I think you could argue Anthony Richardson over Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if you want to talk about rushing quarterbacks, you want to talk about rushing quarterbacks being a cheat code, like you said, Nick. How do you not say, all right, the guy that clearly showed something in both the passing game and the running game last year, if he didn't get hurt, he was on pace for a very top top 10
I get it.
quarterback
I've
finish.
seen it ranked 2 or 3.
I
overall.
love Anthony Richardson.
That's a little high.
But would you ever pull the trigger, even in a 4 for passing touchdown league, 25 yards, at Richardson over Mahomes?
I'd be too
no,
scared.
No. That's not how you win.
Got to spend money to make money.
A little bit more expensive than I would have thought. Yo, but that's worth it, though. That's an old, poor move. You take your money and you put it into something worth it, you're not tacky. See, by transferring all of our cash into these Patty's dollars and then printing more of these babies than we ever had in cash, we've upped our value.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not how you win. And like,
I mean,
love
do you
Richardson's
like
upside.
what is Mahomes' upside? We saw
His upside is where you're drafting him. He's
This is
safe
not
and steady,
this is
number
not
4.
2021 Mahomes anymore. This is a team that is dialed into what they need to do. They are a running team. First and foremost, Mahomes is not asked to make those crazy plays anymore. They don't really have a deep.
You're right.
They don't have
Did you hear what Mahomes said today? That it'd be cool to 3-peat, but he just wants to have a little more fun this year.
That's a dumb thing to say.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Brady said that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like all these real successful quarterbacks, I just want to have fun.
I
Like,
did read a
no,
crazy
man.
stat though that Patrick Mahomes' ADOT has decreased every year.
That doesn't
So
surprise
like
me.
now he was 30th last year, which is crazy. But the point is that's a trend until it's not. And like if he can get back to 12th ADOT, which
But what is going
we
to
don't
let
know
him
what's
get
gonna
back
happen.
to it? There's not. They don't have the
Hollywood
talent.
Brown,
Hollywood Brown is going to be injured by week 3.
Xavier Worthy,
I'm not a fan of Xavier
Kadarius
Worthy.
Toney,
Come on.
Irv Smith,
Irv
let's
Smith.
get on. Those are the top 4.
Yeah.
Is there any world though? Like, what do you think of Jalen Hurts though? Real quick, like, because you got the tush push questions. You got Saquon Barkley stealing touchdowns. You have his awful play the last 5-6
He's the
weeks.
bottom of that tier for me.
I disagree. Mahomes is the bottom of the tier for me. I think you go Allen or Lamar. Pick your poison there. Hurts, Mahomes. I wouldn't even put Mahomes in that tier.
Does Derrick Henry being there not affect? I know Lamar's not really a red zone.
I think
He's not a touchdown
it's
rushing,
good
right?
for Lamar. I think you saw Derrick Henry take a step back last year. He's another year older. I think you're not going to have as strong a running game this year. Gus Bus was the
Keith
old
Mitchell
steady
just
last year.
got put on the pup, right?
Yeah. Lamar's never had over 7 rushing touchdowns in a season.
That doesn't bother me because
He's a rushing yard guy.
look at the yards,
Right.
man.
I
The
know,
yards.
not 100,
That's
I get
where
it.
that's where the cheat
All right,
code
let's
is.
get on the second tier here. We have a group of 5 guys here per Fantasy Pros. Anthony Richardson at 5, CJ Stroud at 6, Dak Prescott at 7, Joe Burrow at 8, and Kyler Murray at 9. This is a pretty loaded group here.
It is strong.
Let's just start with Anthony Richardson. I mean, like you said, you want to recommend him Mahomes. I love the allure. I think the floor is high, and I think the ceiling is super high.
Go big or go
How
home.
many
That's
games
what
is he
that
going
is.
to play?
Yeah.
And what's beautiful, we're going to get into this later, in terms of this is a guy you got to draft a second guy with. Traditionally, last year would have been a Brock Purdy type. This year it could be a Trevor Lawrence. It could be a,
Matthew Stafford, Kirk
Aaron
Cousins.
Rodgers, like those guys. Right?
Yeah, I made the mistake of not.
Justin Herbert even. I mean, shut up.
We'll
dude.
talk about him. I made the mistake of not backing up Anthony Richardson. Now, I probably still won't back up Anthony Richardson, even though I'm not a 2-quarterback guy in a 1-quarterback league. So I'll probably play the waiver wire, see what comes up.
There's something.
Yeah, there'll be something. For me, I have huge concerns about his durability in the NFL. We saw him play 4 games last year, 2 of which he barely played because
He's
he
a
got
big
hurt.
dude, though.
But he's a big dude. If he learns to get out of bounds, to not take these hits, the problem is I have huge concerns about losing my quarterback a quarter of the season way into the fantasy football season. But
Versus what you'd have to pay for the guy.
you want to talk about a floor. Like, his floor is as good as
And his
anybody
ceiling is
in.
as good as anyone.
I don't know that his ceiling's as good as somebody like a Lamar Jackson because the touchdowns aren't going to be there when you have Jonathan Taylor that are going to take so many touchdowns.
Run for 5 rushing touchdowns, whatever it was, in 5 games.
But the rushing. That's where the floor is. That I really like the floor. I'm not willing to miss out on Richardson, so I'm willing to take him in a few places, but he's not my number 1 pick.
Nico,
Out of that tier, I see the allure with Richardson.
just give me your Richardson take first.
Like
Do you like him at 5,
upside.
or do you think it should be lower?
It's too expensive for the risk.
Yeah?
I'm a little risk averse, and I'm not taking quarterback that high typically anyway. And if I'm going to, I want something safer where I know I'm good for the year, and I don't have to think about the waiver wire or replacement level quarterback.
So would you take Stroud and Burrow over him?
I would take Burrow. I am really high on Burrow. I think Burrow takes
Stroud
a
and
step
a
forward in
4
the offense.
passing touchdowns. Stroud or Richardson?
Stroud. I'd take Stroud,
Story?
man. I like safety. Personally.
I would take Stroud too.
And I think that offense.
So you
takes
wear
another
condoms?
step forward.
I'm high on
They
this.
got
Condoms.
Diggs there.
Yeah.
Booker's raw. So I mean, like.
Get your bleeper out.
Okay, real quick before we get to Stroud and the other guys, let's talk a little landscape here. We talked about the top 5 guys here. This year, I feel like has some of the most depth we've seen. I'm gonna kind of talk about the later guys real quick. We have post 12. We have Tua at 13, Jared Goff at 14, Caleb at 15, Trevor Lawrence at 16, Justin Herbert at 17, Cousins 18, Stafford 19, Rodgers 20, Deshaun Watson I'll throw in there at 21. Those guys all have high upside potential to be starters. Is this a year where you're kind of going to wait? And the order is the order, right? But, are you going to reach on your guy in a one-quarterback 12-team league, or are you fine with waiting and pairing two of those guys? What do you want to do?
If I don't get one of the top 9 guys and I don't get Jaden Daniels, then I'm just going to wait and I'm going to play whatever matchups come available. I'm probably going to stream because I don't believe that Tua, Jared Goff, Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson can be a regular weekly starter. I'm much more these guys all have plenty of issues that I would rather play the weekly matchups on the streaming wire than
you hedged though saying top 9 guys. That's
because we went through the first 2 tiers, right?
I get that. Nico, what do you think? What is your traditional strategy? And this year, does it change based on the landscape we're looking at, which is deep as hell?
Before you answer, sorry, I want to clarify because I used to be the last guy in the league to take a quarterback. I was always the last guy, and I would let the first 15, 16, 18 guys go off the board. And I would take the last guy. This time...
So do you see a top 9 tier break?
I do. I absolutely... That's why I want to clarify
yes.
those first 2 tiers. I absolutely see a huge drop down between the rest of those guys.
Nico?
I get what you're saying with the drop down from there. My thing is, if I'm waiting at quarterback, why do I need to invest in 2? I'm going to be able to get somebody off the wire that's super close because you're only starting 12, arguably, whether you're in a 14 or 16.
It's a safe
league.
Upside thing, though.
It is, and I get that, but
I think it depends on the league too because I'm in a home league where everybody has 2 quarterbacks. Everybody feels the need to back up the
then
quarterback.
you can't wait.
So then you can't wait. That's why
those are the lame leagues.
Yeah, but I have it where there's a league where
and I got a quarterback.
well, I got Mahomes and I got Dak Prescott. I'm set
Bro.
yeah.
Stupid.
It's terrible.
Oh, it's trade bait. It's trade bait. That's
So
the
what are
other
you
one.
thinking,
Yeah,
Nico? What are you going with here?
Are
you waiting?
I typically do, but this year I have some trust issues in the middle. There's questions around all those guys, like he was saying. I'm going to try and get one of the top 8 because I'm not a Kyler Murray believer. I get the Russian upside is there with him, but I'm out. I'm drawing the line at 8 at Joe Burrow, and I think I'm higher on Burrow than most, so I'm going to pull the trigger on him in a lot of my leagues before most players would. And I think I'm going to end up with a ton of him, and if I don't, I'm going to wait and take one of the guys in the middle, and if they don't work out, they're not that far away from your 22 through 25, in my opinion.
So I'm going to...
And that's if everybody's got 2 quarterbacks. Like, for the most part, there should only be...
And that's on them, man.
14 or 16.
Yeah, because you're a top 6 guy. Why the frick are you backing him up?
Yeah.
It's a 10-team league.
If you draft Lamar Jackson and then you draft Jaden Daniels to back it up, and Jaden Daniels is CJ Stroud 2.0. He is the guy this year. He's running all over the place. What do you do? You can't drop him. You can't trade him. It's impossible to trade a quarterback these days.
For what they're worth.
So why are you drafting this guy in the first place? You're playing this is an upside game. Fantasy football is an upside game, and if you're playing safety to back up your quarterback, you are killing yourself on the opportunity cost of having that roster spot of the backup running back or a upside wide receiver.
If you're taking Daniels, that's a starting player.
Right.
That's not even
Ideally,
a
if
backup.
he's
That's
playing,
a starter.
right?
You're
Right,
taking
okay.
2 quarterbacks in the top 10 or 12 on your
Man,
roster.
these guys are just so articulate and very handsome, and I love having them on the
Handsome.
pod. All right,
Handsome,
we're going number
too.
6 here. We're getting back to our list. CJ Stroud 6, Dak Prescott 7, Joe Burrow 8, and Kyler Murray 9. Give me your CJ Stroud takes because I am not on it. I think it's too high. I think he should be probably at 8 or 9. Tell me I'm wrong.
Prescott and Burrow feel safer than Stroud because it's that 1 year sample size. You don't know what that offense is going to be exactly. Once you got a year of film on a quarterback, can defenses adjust to that? But they've added weapons. They went and got Mixon. They went and got Diggs. So that's going to offset anything else. I think Stroud is his floor is what he did last year. That's what I think.
No way.
I do.
What he did last year?
I think that's repeatable for him in that offense with that coaching staff.
Story?
I know how much you like D'Amico Ryans.
I do like D'Amico Ryan.
One of the coaches he likes. Do you think you think that's his floor?
I don't necessarily think anybody can crater the year after.
Yeah, they can.
But I agree. I think this offense takes a step forward. I think you're going to see Stroud that next tier of top end passing quarterbacks, right? Not Tom Brady tier, obviously, but solid guys, solid contributors that are going to be a regular fantasy contributor. Now, I would probably flip. I'm with you. I'd flip Burrow and Stroud, and I would kick down Prescott and Murray quite a bit. I'd kick Murray out of that tier, probably kick Dak Prescott out of that tier. I love Burrow this year. I think that he's being
We all
undervalued.
love Joe Burrow.
Okay, we can move on then.
We all love Joe
I think you could put Richardson, Burrow right on that same level, and then Stroud right behind them, and that's that tier for me.
Do you all remember when Kyler Murray was talked about in the same light as I get Kyler Murray's a video gamer and not a very good player, not a very good team guy, and had the injury. I get that, but he was the can't miss. Oh, Kyler Murray, rushing, passing, you name it, offense. Cliff Kingsbury, and what happened with Kyler Murray? Now we're talking about a quarterback 9. Sorry, I'm just telling you, we've had precedents for these guys having one great year and then anointing them. Jalen Hurts last year worked out for fantasy, but it was all based on 1-yard touchdowns. Yeah. I'm just telling you. I told you Jalen Hurts is not that great, and you said I'm lying.
Okay, even though it's fake points or whatever you want to call it, it's still points, and
but real life.
There's no why would they go away from
CJ Stroud
something?
isn't getting fake points. He's getting real life points on 3rd and 10s, which he dominated last year. Is he going to do it this year? Let's see it again. That's my
But the
point.
offense got better with the team they put around him this year.
Dome, I get it. The dome, the division, there's a lot of pluses there. I don't know. Kyler Murray.
I did my own rankings to see where I'm coming at with this, right? Murray's not even a QB1. I got him at 13 in my own ranks.
That's spicy.
Where do you have Stroud?
I have Stroud at 6.
So right there.
Yep.
Where do you have Kyler?
I haven't done rankings yet, but I would kick him definitely down in tier 3, maybe at that 11,
10?
12 mark. Yeah. It's tough,
Jordan
though.
Love, Brock Purdy, or Kyler? 4 for passing touchdown.
I take Purdy or Love over Kyler.
Jesus, dude. Now.
The situation is not great for
Jaden Daniels? I'm taking him over Kyler. Come on, man.
No, I'm down on Daniels. I'm not. I should be higher with his rushing upside, and I should be higher with Kyler's rushing upside, but I don't.
Kyler deserves to be the bottom of this tier based on adding Marvin Harrison.
Problem is, look at the advanced metrics of Kyler Murray. Terrible deep ball passes.
I don't need to know anything. They're going to be bad. They're going to be throwing. He's going to be playing.
I don't see it.
He has a generational wide receiver now.
You think?
Yet to be seen.
I know.
Yet to be seen.
We know Marvin Harrison's a stud.
Yeah.
Well, we knew Quentin Johnson was a stud last year.
That's true.
No. All right, tier 3 here. Jordan Love at number 10. Brock Purdy at 11. Jaden Daniels at 12. Tua at 13. Jared Goff 14. Caleb 15. T-Law, Trevor Lawrence 16. And Justin Herbert rounding it out at 17.
That's so gross for Herbert, man.
Got no weapons, but he should not be that low.
That
gross
talent
tier.
shouldn't be that low. I've got him higher.
It's a running team. They are geared up for
A running team until they can't.
Yeah. In today's NFL? I don't know.
Highlight a couple guys here. Jordan Love at 10. I mean, I think that's pretty fair. I won't be touching him here. I'm just going to wait. And if I find him at 14, I'll take him. Not taking Jordan Love as my starting quarterback. I don't believe in it. The
question is, were those last 6 games a flash in the pan, or is that the new Jordan Love? Did he take a step forward, or was it a product of circumstance?
In the middle.
It's an interesting thing because there's a very clear dichotomy between the first 11 games of the season and the last 6 games of the season last year. Now, a lot of talent on the offense side of the ball, but
not really. Actually, it's a lot of role players.
I mean, Christian Watson, he's the fastest guy in the field.
Talent,
Green Bay and Buffalo have so many question marks at receiver.
Not a lot of
it's
talent.
Funny.
I don't think you have question marks. In fact,
they have their roles.
You have too many.
Their talents.
You just don't know who's what there.
Bro, Jaden Reed carves out a little role.
Yeah, Jaden Reed's a
Christian
solid wide
Watson,
receiver.
I like. He can't stay healthy.
If he
Wicks,
okay,
dude, that's a bunch of role players.
So now we have to have the argument about if Christian Watson
Musgrave
is healthy, then he is a solid wide receiver, a wide receiver 1 in this league. Fastest guy in the field, phenomenal hands, great route runner. There's no question that Christian Watson, healthy, is a top 15 wide receiver in the league.
And we're high on Wicks, so potentially
I do like Wicks.
Disagree.
2 good receivers.
I like Reed.
Talent, but he can't run a route.
Right. So for me, I'm not taking any of these wide receivers in fantasy other than some deeper sleeps kind of guys because you don't know who's going to be week to week, but that speaks volumes to Jordan Love. Now, all that being said, I'd still take Jaden Daniels over him. You want to talk about cheat codes, it's rushing. Right? And Jaden Daniels, who's a phenomenal deep ball passer, highly accurate, played in the SEC last year. I like the opportunity to take the running quarterback at that level, and the fact that you can get him at 12 or lower, it's good value to me.
What do you think about Brock Purdy? Sorry, Nico. Actually, I'm going to ask the Niners expert. 11. Is that fair?
It is, and I think the argument with Purdy is it's the talent around him is why he's good, which is bullshit because every quarterback's only as good as the talent around them to a certain degree. And I don't think that I saw a lot of mistakes out of Purdy that cost any games.
Except
and
for the Super Bowl.
He's a quick processor, dude. And with Ayuk and Debo and McCaffrey and Kittle,
A lot of stuff.
He's going to have the opportunity there. Even if it's not a high-volume passing offense, I think he stays efficient because of the guys that are around him.
I mean, I think he's a great real-life quarterback. I think he's done a phenomenal job putting his name on the map in this league. But the last I checked, Christian McCaffrey is still on the San Francisco 49ers. And I saw too many games with Purdy throwing 1 or 0 touchdowns for him to be my quarterback 1 in this league. There is a floor of 240 and no touchdowns, and losing your week.
We all agree Jaden Daniels at 12 is the last guy, which is money because he has the upside to be top 8, top 6 possibly, with the set I read off, and also playing from behind in that division. Tua. Let's talk about Tua because he's at 13. And the guy has weeks of 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also has weeks of 165 and 1 touchdown and 3 picks.
How? With that offense, man? How?
Weather and play calling and defense.
And playing against teams that are over 500.
So, I do love Tua here because you can do much work. The spike weeks from waiting at quarterback, this is the guy. We all agree. The weapons, the scheme. I love it, especially early in the season.
I feel good with Tua and Goff in this range personally. The Detroit
Goff is so weird because of all the 1-yard rushing touchdowns that happen, and he gets you 280 and no touchdowns.
But that offense is better than you've seen in Detroit in a long time, and they're able to move the ball. They're behind him. You've got Amon-Ra with just tons of upside and what? Fucking 10, 12 excuse me, sorry about that, F-bomb. 10, 12 catches a game. And that's not going anywhere. And with Montgomery and Gibbs able to open up that pass game, I feel just as safe and comfortable with Goff as I do Tua.
I would take Tua in a best ball when I don't have to worry about Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert scoring all the touchdowns. But in
Mostert's going to die by week 4, man.
He's probably.
He's dead.
But in a redraft league, when I have to set my lineup, I don't want to worry about Tua, pardon the expression, crap in the bed that week. Goff, for me, again, why would I take Goff, who could go 225 and a touchdown with no rushing yards or negative rushing yards when I can get Jaden Daniels around that same range, and I can get, if he goes for 40 yards, that's 4 points. That's a touchdown right there.
It's the security.
It's a floor.
Even T-Law and Herbert have the argument of more
So,
upside than Goff.
Caleb Williams, real quick. Caleb Williams at 15.
Hey, can I ask you Bear fans a question
Yeah.
about Caleb Williams real quick? Since you put me on the Purdy Niner spot. Yep. Dub Bears.
This is a Ween t-shirt. But, just like
is he gonna be that Stroud again this year? Is he gonna be that good of a rookie? Is he that generational
The weapons
talent?
are unreal.
Or, that's what I'm asking. Or is it the weapons around him? Because it's not play calling in the offense that we've seen.
Stop
the last
swearing.
couple
I
years,
have
is
to
it?
edit these out.
It's too late. You got me drunk.
Yeah, I did. I got him drunk. I'm going to take advantage of him later. You ever heard of the game Cornhole?
Just like Caleb Williams
play
is going
dick
to
chicken later.
take advantage of all the wide receiving talent that he has around him, and he's going to produce. Do I think he's a
That was a great
generational talent? Yeah,
transition
thank you
for
very
it.
much.
Thank you.
I mean, is he a generational talent? Probably not. Is he an outstanding quarterback? He was at some points in his college career. I'm not hugely sold on him, but there's no team that put more around them and is going to make sure their rookie quarterback succeeds more so than the Bears.
You're sitting on the clock. You're going to draft a quarterback. You're looking at Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert right there. Matt Stafford.
Trevor
Sorry,
Lawrence, Jared Goff.
let's clarify. Are you talking real life or fantasy?
fantasy.
Because he's off my board. He's off my board for
Fantasy.
fantasy.
I
Goff,
think he's too high at
Caleb,
15
Trevor
is my
Lawrence,
point.
and Justin Herbert.
Those guys are all off my board. I wouldn't touch a single one of them.
Well, we had to.
This is the exercise.
No,
Yeah,
this
you
is
gotta
what.
take
No,
one of
this
them.
is when I wait and take Deshaun
Caleb
Watson.
Williams has the upside, though, dude.
You think so? Even without
he
seeing
has
it
rushing.
because of the weapons?
Nah,
The weapons,
is
the
a.
rushing. Get the hell out of here, man.
Look back to his last year at USC.
I don't care about college.
You should care about
No,
college. 'cause
you
it's
cared about Quentin Johnson in college, you prick.
It's
All right,
prescriptive.
we're moving off Caleb Williams because it's not going to go anywhere. We're going to talk about 2 names here, and we're going to end it. Trevor Lawrence is 16. Justin Herbert is 17. Proven. Okay, one guy's kind of proven. One guy has been hit or miss. This is really low on guys that have pedigree, a little bit of track record, and, they've done it.
But they give you 0 in the rushing game.
No, zero. What are you talking about?
Which means in order
Trevor
for them,
Lawrence had the 4th most rushing red zone rushes in the league last year.
I don't care about red zone rushes. Like that,
I do.
You want yardage. That's where you make. That's
four
what.
for passing touchdown.
Okay, but that you make your hay
Justin
in the
Herbert can
yardage
run too.
because if he's running a touchdown, he's not throwing a touchdown. Just because you get two more points, that doesn't matter to me.
Nico,
the point
do you
is
think these guys offer 0 rushing?
No, I'll take the rushing yards
Sorry.
out of Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Herbert's going to run very much.
He hasn't, but he can. He just hasn't. But now he's going to have to because he has no one to throw to.
And
besides Quentin Johnston.
And Greg Roman's going to make him Colin Kaepernick. They're
No.
going to use him. They're going to use him in that role.
I need 320 yards and 4 touchdowns from him, and I think Trevor Lawrence can go 420 and 5.
But
420.
The argument being,
he's
none of
projected
these
for
guys
295.
are getting drafted as a
I don't
QB1.
care about the projections.
If I waited, I want the upside of both of these guys. If I waited this long,
That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. The pedigree, the talent, and teams that we know.
He
have
rushed
bad
for
defenses.
339 last year.
Who did?
Trevor Lawrence.
He
70.
was hurt.
He rushed for 4 touchdowns.
I
Like
know.
it just these guys,
Like
you got to
you're
have
saying, you said 0.
You got to
That's
have
not 0. And the Tom Brady offered you 0.
I don't mean literally
Aaron
0.
Rodgers
I'm being hyper.
offers you
When I say
0.
0, I'm using it as a euphemism. These guys have got to have a next level, a 10th percentile season or a 90th percentile season. They have to. You got to have 45 touchdowns. You have to. Everything has to go right.
Not
you have to be
quarterback
perfect.
17.
Yeah. What's the point though? If he throws 42 touchdowns and he outperforms his draft position and he goes from 17 and he ends up at 13, whoop-de-doo. That's not winning your league.
45 touchdowns is not 13. Okay.
Okay,
Let's take a step back. That's number 6. And they have potential. Lawrence has more potential than Herbert. We agree on this offenses. Who has higher upside? I think Herbert's safer. I don't know, man. What do you think? Who are you taking between the two?
between the two,
Let's ask this.
I've been a T-Law homer. I like Christian Kirk. I like that offense. They've used an ETN to set up the pass a little bit, but there's I don't know what Gabe Davis is going to do there. I'm still going. I don't know.
Who are you
T-Law.
taking? You can't say nobody. Who are you taking?
Herbert's a better real life quarterback, but for fantasy, I think I'm taking T-Law.
You?
So gross.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not that
what's the
gross.
point? What's the point? Like, what am I taking a quarterback 16th? Like,
It's like there's-
Okay, would you
there's-
take Matt Stafford over either of these
there's
guys?
no such
No
thing.
way.
no, but I can wait.
Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins,
No.
either over
No.
either of these guys? Okay. How about Deshaun Watson?
Yes.
They're all pizzas. There's no such thing as a bad pizza.
Baker
okay?
Mayfield.
Baker, no.
Caleb Williams, Jared Goff.
No,
are you
but
are you
the-
taking Jared Goff over Lawrence?
No,
or
but I
Herbert?
can stop gap with Deshaun Watson there. I don't
Because
need to
you have
worry.
the upside.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about Trevor
Dude,
Lawrence.
He could get suspended, not be jerked off one week, and he won't be functional. We don't know.
I know.
I know these dudes are going to play games.
There's an elevated risk for outside the box stuff with Deshaun Watson, but you could make the argument we
Outside the box.
don't know anything about Trevor Lawrence.
the box.
Yeah.
I
Around
know
the
Trevor
box.
Lawrence had a nice 15-game stretch within 2 seasons. I know I'm kind of making the narrative here.
Take his first
And
season
Justin
away.
Herbert
Where do you end
killed
up-
it as a rookie, and it's not been great, man.
21
But, like,
touchdowns last year. Like
The
that doesn't
The
move.
coach is concerned.
359
Calvin
yards.
Ridley sucks. That's the point. Sorry, Nick.
It doesn't do anything for me. I need to be able to win my league, and I can't win my league with Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence. Can't do it.
No. But this
Can't have it. Can't do it.
I
There's
know.
nothing there.
I got worked by both these guys last year.
I'd rather
Give
have
up.
I'd rather have Jared Goff than either of these two guys. Frankly, if we see Kirk Cousins healthy, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins than either of these two guys.
Gross. Talk about not getting anything on the ground. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I have higher confidence that Kirk Cousins can get 35 touchdowns than either of these two scrubs.
I'll get the knife out. All right, this is awesome. We
Contentious.
don't want to talk any. I love it. I love the
I love it,
argument.
yeah.
I love these guys. Fun times. Just wait. Every 3 days, we're going to be coming out with a show till the season starts. Get used to these mugs. All right?
Yep.
Get used to me shoving a knife in Story's throat. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
And it's been a complete joy.